I don't know what to tell you guys, but holy crap, is it hot here on the West Coast. It is mind-numbingly hot. I've had to turn it off because of how much noise it puts up on the stream, but I have a very large industrial strength fan behind me, which is been saving my ass for the last few days. Holy shnikes, is it hot. I don't know what it's like where you are, but I assume it is hot there too if you're in North America or most parts of Europe. Got a little bit of global warming going on. Some global warming. Not sure what to tell you. It's been pretty insane here. So yeah, holy shnikes, let us move away from our intro screen into our live Guild Wars 2 experience. And there it is, as if by magic. Indiana is having, go for breakfast for French toast and eggs, come home for mine show, then Mexican food for supper. So Mexican food, probably my favorite food in the world. It is the one thing that I spend more time making than just about anything else. I am a really big believer in the Mexican food. With the Chinese food coming a close second and the Italian in third is, I think, how I'm rating it. And honestly, the Mexican food is on top simply because of Chipotle. Chipotle peppers are just probably one of the most amazing ingredients in the world. Indiana is having a fairly typical summer, high 80s, low 90s with humidity. Well, let me explain to you how it goes here on the West Coast. Every year we say, oh my God, it's the hottest summer ever. Here we get about 2-3 weeks in the summer every year where things get really unbearable. And I won't actually call them unbearable this time around because the place where I'm staying now actually is really well ventilated, so the fans are doing a good job. But my cat won't come upstairs. He won't come up, and hang out with me. Because he has a fear of ceiling fans. Every time he walks into the room now, he looks up at where the ceiling fan is and he bolts. He won't have anything to do with that. And my mother warned me about this behavior from this cat. He used to be my mom's cat. And this is an irrational fear that goes back to when he was quite little. Nobody ever really figured out what it was, but yeah, he won't go in any room where a ceiling fan is going. And I made what I think is the healthy choice and put my own comfort above my cat's for one of the few points. Don't tell him, but anyways, did you guys know that a 12-pound male cat may shed 14 pounds of fur during the summer months each and every day? Holy smokes, that cat's losing a lot of fur. Yes, we do need Mexican food recipes for our in-game cooking. I was hoping, the Hatch chilies would find their ways into some kind of something. I don't know. At any rate, I'm a big believer in the Mexican cuisine. That is probably my favorite thing to do. In fact, this week, I did a moderately successful run at the homemade corn flour tortillas. So that was pretty good. So there was that. There we go. Caddy. Let's take a look at Caddy's fashion. Caddy is rocking the Moot and Astralaria, just for that legendary flex. There we have it. Caddy on Revenant. Not sure where we got with that. Did you go back to the Condi on that? We don't know. We'll figure that out in a little bit. Yes, she did go to the Condi on that. We should probably take a little look at that in a bit and see how that's performing. I am still not sold on Quickness Herald. I don't know what the quickness uptime is there. Maybe Caddy can tell us in a little bit. But if I'm not mistaken, Caddy is in Celestial Armor with the Firebrand runes, I'm hoping. Is that right? We shall find out here in a moment. And, okay. Good talk. Berserker runes. Why? I told you to get rid of those. I said, hey, you, with your Berserker runes, put some Firebrand runes in there. You should probably put some Firebrand runes in there. So there's that. I guess the Herald iteration going around is you put Celestial Armor on with some Firebrand runes on a Condi Herald, and it becomes significantly okay-ish to provide quickness. This is my doubt face. It's the face I make when I doubt things, but I haven't tried it. I'm going to be honest with you, just haven't tried it. Why haven't I tried it? I have been doing all sorts of other stuff other than avoiding the heat. Windshark says, Power Quickness Herald uses Scholar runes and mostly Diviner's trinkets. Windshark, I tried that. And, you can step in here with whatever you got on it, but here was my experience behind that setup. In that you could perma the quickness on yourself, but not on other people, because the moment you stepped out of Herald and into Shiro, You could get the 6-second quickness bump from one of the Shiro utilities. You could get the quickness bump off the weapon swap proc off one of the whatchamacallits, one of the traits. But you couldn't keep it permad on anything other than yourself that way. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you've got better. Maybe you've got a better setup than what I was messing with. Um, Gail says, as a player lacking access to legendary armors and runes, gear is breaking my heart. Well, Gail, this actually to me is probably video worthy at some point because I only have the one set of legendary armor. And I made that in World versus World. I did the medium armor there. I didn't do the runes until about a month ago. Um, so here are some of the things I did. I made a lot. I mean, I spent a lot of time when I first started building everything up, coming up with Ascended armor. So really doing anything that got me Ascended gear, weapons or armor. So a lot of that became, chasing achievements that would give any kind of legendary, any kind of Ascended gear, farming Calibogs for weapons. But when it came to the armor, did a lot of Ascended crafting, got a few drops in World versus World. But what I used to do prior to the legendary armor, and what I'm still doing a lot of, is I will do a lot of stat swapping. I do a lot of stat swapping of my Ascended armors around. And then the other thing is, these days, I really do highly prize strike currencies. And if you take a look at my inventory, I'm actually putting together another Ascended armor set. Because, I mean, I get that, yeah, the legendary thing is absolutely preferable. And if we ask Caddy, she is like the queen of legendaries here. She's got all the armor and all the trinkets. I don't even have the PvE trinkets, to be honest with you, when it comes to the legendary stuff. We'll just take a look here. So, I do a lot of stat swapping, and that became hard, particularly doing the channel. When you are swapping builds around as often as I do, a lot of swapping around of stat sets. So, I mean, I'm assuming you, Gil, of all people, probably know about, changing stats in the Mystic Forge, etc., etc. So there was that. The other thing is I am unafraid of using stat selectable exotic boxes and using exotic armor and then filling out everything else with Ascended. So that really is kind of where I'm at. Hey, Robin, good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Jungle AB, welcome to the stream. Catching back up on chat, I made my first set of Ascended Vipers with Tormenting Runes for Condi Scourge 2 weeks before they nerf on Tormenting Runes. It's funny, that Torment Rune nerf, you're probably, I was running the Scourge with the Nightmare Runes, so I was a little happier. The Nightmare runes, obviously, a little bit higher damage than the Torment runes overall, but didn't have that same proc. But they didn't get gutted, obviously, the way everything did in the pre-EOD sustain nerfs that came out. So, why would you choose Vipers over Ritualist? Ritualist just seems so safe and tanky. Because often the damage is noticeably different. Jungle AB. Often it's like noticeably different. And for open world, I would say absolutely. Start looking at that Ritualist stuff. But there are a few builds that I will run in open world in Viper's gear. One of them being Condi Scourge. If Condi Scourge starts to get too glassy, all you really got to do is all you really got to do is put on parasitic contagion and stuff like that. So, I mean, no, yeah, just a rhetorical question. I don't know if it's rhetorical. I think it's actually a pretty good question, to be honest with you. Here's the thing. I mean, ritualists' gear, I have very little experience with. I did pump out that. Condi Elementalist build that came up on the channel last week. And I prefer running it in Celestial to running it in Ritualist, but the Ritualist is really nice. I mean, I'm not gonna front too much about that. I mean, the Ritualist is pretty sweet. One of my guys still running 6 Torment runes. I forget which one. You know, Ronnie, there's a couple of places where those Torment runes are still really good. Here's the thing about the Torment runes. The Torment runes procking regen is actually really good on Celestial gear. Because the regen becomes very powerful. So where we're talking about those torment runes still being really good is if you are running your Herald for open world in or not Herald, your Renegade for open world in Celestial gear. Those torment runes are still really freaking strong. Now they're not as strong as they were before, but let's be honest, what they were before was stand in the red circles and develop kind of bad habits strong. They aren't that strong anymore, but they're still really good, particularly on a Celestial set. So I'll look at things like running, you know, Condi Renegade and Celestial gear, or Mirage. Celestial Mirage with the Torment runes is really cozy, really cozy. Because Ritualist didn't agree when I built the set. There's that as well. Emmanuel, good morning. Welcome to the stream. The Torment nerf killed my desire to play Scourge. Really? My Scourge is still like... I have about 4 or 5 characters I will go to when I want to do damage. In like instance content, if I'm doing like strikes or the little raiding I do, or if I'm doing like high level fractals or anything, and all I want to do is burn or kill things, my Scourge is like top 3 options for that. Anything that involves ads where epidemic can become a factor, I play a fair bit of Scourge. I love Scourge for that exact reason. Dan St. Pierre, are you going to be doing any more videos on World versus World? Dan, I absolutely am. Let me tell you where I am at on content at this point and just lay this out for everybody because, just to give everybody kind of an idea of where things are going. The first thing I am working on, and I have been working on it all week, is I have been working on the gold making content. So for that, I have been writing scripts, developing new, intro graphics, lower thirds, things like that. So that has been what I'm going to be doing. That is going to be a 5-part series. Most of them are going to be 10 to 15 minutes long, and we should start seeing those at some point next week. After that, World versus World content is coming. The World versus World content that I'm going to be doing, and I've sketched this out for people before, so if you've heard me say this before, I really do apologize, but some of the streaming just involves endless repetition. One moment, I just need to cough and clear my throat. So what I'm going to be doing is a series called Let's Replay World versus World, where I'm going to go into World versus World and basically almost treat it like a Let's Play, where we're going to go in and just kind of examine the game mode as a whole from the eyes of people who may not be kind of used to the game mode. Take a look at some of the various things about it. So not like a traditional guide and not like a traditional Let's Play, somewhere completely in between those. And if you want a kind of a good idea of how that's going to kind of be, it's going to be a World versus World version of the Let's Replay Guild Wars 2 series that I have up. So that is coming. The other thing that I am kind of thinking about for World versus World is a build guide for Cleanse Tempest, which is a beast on the cleanse numbers. Catching up with the chat. I'm done. My Renegade has 4 sets of armor now. Not going to make a Ritualist set 2. I can't see Ritualist being great on Renegade, to be honest with you, Ronnie. There you go. Does it give fear, or is that a different one? I'm just catching back up. Bad habits. Tell that to my Mechanist. They can just stay in place while dealing massive damage. Windshark, absolutely true. I mean, Mechanist is the firebrand of this expansion pack. It's pretty outrageous at this point. Really was. Lex 25. What stats would you recommend for power mesmer for world versus world, but also works for open world? I am going to shoot absolutely straight with you on the topic of mesmer in general. I am not a really good authority on the matter. Where I would currently run is defaulting into things like diviners or commanders stats at this point. But I'm going to wait until I guess we're getting an extra little balance patch in about a week and a half or so. And I'm going to take a look at Chronomancer at that point and see if there's anything I can come up with. And I think Chronos is something that plays almost exclusively for power. So, stay tuned on that one until I do a little bit of science. But yeah. I'm not really the one to ask at this point, particularly in World versus World. In World versus World, for me, my Mesmer play is just about 0, to be honest with you. In World versus World, I've played a lot of Herald, I've played a lot of Guardian, I've played a lot of Elementalist, a couple of other things, fair bit of Rev, but yeah, I've not played a lot of Mesmer in World versus World. Yeah, I'm tinkering with a Torment Celestial Mirage for now. Seems fun, but she hasn't entered any instance games like Fractals and Dungeons. My Celestial Mirage, when I had it running, was pretty redonkulous. Yummy Catsy, good morning. Welcome. There we go. Just pulling up the chat here and still getting caught up here. I really appreciate you guys kind of hanging out as I just get caught up. The chat's gone crazy. It's gone wild. Absolutely. Y'all are savages. There we go. Savitar, welcome to the stream. Sir, what is the fastest way to level up my new character to level 80 without a boost and without having 60 laurels available? I don't want to play through the areas while still leveling. So here's the thing about how to level quickly in this game. You can get attuned to the cap in about 15, 20 hours just grinding mobs, to be honest with you, Savitar. But when you're grinding mobs, you have to be smart about it. I went over this in my Let's Replay series, but let me give you an example about this. And I actually think that this is a good area where we can actually do a little bit of a demo. So one of the things about Guild Wars 2... let me just find the right place here. Okay. So one of the things about Guild Wars 2 is that when you kill something, you get experience and you also get bonus experience. So let's take a quick look at this. So I'm just going to see this bat over here. Okay. And when I kill him, I feel good. We'll just wait until he dies. Okay, you see how I got that bonus XP, which was actually more than twice my normal XP? What it means is mobs that are in the open world that don't get killed very often contain a serious XP bonus for killing them. So if you want to level quickly, what you want to do is start looking for, these kind of creatures that don't get killed a lot, so a lot of ambient creatures. The next thing you want to do is fight at, levels that are about 3 to 4 levels above you in terms of your combat rating. So if you're level 20, fighting level 24 or so creatures is going to be better for your XP. And then the last thing you can do in order to level quickly is just make sure you're always running food and utilities, or join a guild that can offer you the guild experience buff. And those are really going to be quick ways of leveling your toon really quickly. Another thing to keep in mind is these mobs that don't aggro on you naturally, so they actually con yellow to you instead of conning red, are also going to be a really good source of that bonus XP. And the reason why is because they are not aggroing on people and are therefore out in the world a lot longer. So we'll kill this dude. And you see, that's a pretty significant. XP buff. That is the number one thing I would do if I wanted to level quickly in this game, is I would start doing it that way. So as you're running around the world, watching the amount of watching the amount of XP that you're getting, and then with that, go ahead and start moving around the world accordingly. That really is kind of the way I would do it. There is a better explanation, Savitar, in my Let's Replay Guild Wars 2 series, where the idea of it was to level reasonably quickly without using any veterans perks, so just using kind of information that's out there and knowledge. So do keep that in mind, please, and take a look at that series if that's something that you're interested in. Jungaloo, oh, by the way, had my biggest lull moment in Guild Wars 2. I loaded in, and in Lion's Arch, the first model that loaded me was 5 mechs. They're everywhere. It really is just ridiculous the way that Mechanist is taking over the game. And that really is, when you're wondering if a class is overpowered, that's the way to find out. Is you will go ahead and realize that everybody is playing that class. That means the class is overpowered. And a good example of that was when Path of Fire launched, and you go into World versus World, and literally on a squad of 50 players, you'd see 35 Scourges. It's pretty good temperature check on that one. Woohoo, more balance. Bitwise, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hey, that reminds me, Bitwise was awesome and joined our Discord. And if that's something you're interested in, the link is in the description down below. I used to not like playing Renegade until I found the instant cast on the ground targeting in the options menu. That's one to really take a look at. That is, one of those settings in the game that I don't think sees a whole lot of play, and is one of those things that makes life a lot easier for some people. So let's go ahead and let's go kill some stuff for a few minutes, and I'm going to bring my DPS Scourge, and let's just see how we do here, my friends. It might get ugly. It might get ugly, and I will catch up with chat here in a couple seconds. There we go. Try PvP, you get a lot of XP and Tomes of Knowledge. That's another good call. PvP and World versus World are absolutely fantastic places to get those. And, those tomes can be the difference. But that really gets back to, do you enjoy the game mode? Do you enjoy competitive play? Because if you're not enjoying it, then those tomes become a grind. But if you are enjoying World versus World or PvP, getting those Tomes of Knowledge is, I'm sitting on a stack and a half in my bank. You just sit there. Gail says the Wooden Potatoes Power Chrono build should be a starting place to take a look at a build option. I think that's probably true. I haven't taken a look at that. A couple of his old open world builds didn't age gracefully, is the way I want to put it. But a couple of them are still seriously strong. Yeah, I would have to take a look. But again, I know so little about Power Mesmer. Mind, what do you think of Selly Mez with the Traveler runes? I can't see it being awful. It depends on what kind of Mesmer, Are you talking about Chrono? Are you talking about Are you talking about Mirage? Are you talking about Virtuoso? I am one ascended armor piece away from doing a little bit of science on. Let me just turn the sound down here. Give me a moment. I am one ascended armor piece away from spending a little bit of time doing some science with celestial virtuoso of like kind of a whatchamacallit, of a Condi variety. I have to get the last piece of armor at this point, and I kind of cleared out a lot of my bank a couple weeks ago as I'm working on Man of War, the HMS Divinity, the legendary rifle. So I want to do a little bit of testing with Celi Virtuoso, to be honest with you, because I have a feeling it's going to be really, really strong. But again, like, I just need a pair of gloves, and I got so many other things going on. So, why is Caddy doing all the damage? I ask every week. There we go. There we go. I will catch up with the chat in a moment, my friends. I do appreciate your patience as I wonder why my damage is so low. I'll have to take a look at it after this match. Look at me talking like I'm playing something competitive or something. Crazy. So there we have it. Guess another thing that came out this week is our good friends at ArenaNet have let us know what the next balance patch is going to have in it. Got some warrior fixes, etc. Wow, Caddy, that was impressive for Vindicator. That was super impressive for Vindicator. I don't know if there have been any nerfs, but it's a really good power chrono playstyle lesson, even if the build itself needs tweaking. I'll have to take a look at that, Gail. One of the ways that Wooden Potatoes influenced what I do on the channel in terms of build videos and build guides is when I made them, I gave a serious thought about how to teach people how to play it more than just play it, and put up the stats and everything. And when I was first starting to make these videos and I was, trying to think about what would work and what would be best and what I would enjoy, etc. A lot of that came from the way that he formatted his videos. So that's a really good point in that a lot of cases, his explanations on class mechanics are peerless, and you will take something from it. He's also got, he did those guides for all the elite specs before End of Dragons, where he really kind of goes under the hood about the elites and really takes it to the next level in terms of explaining exactly what they do and exactly what they're for. I had nothing but respect for the man's work. Absolutely. Does such a good job. Okay, so how am I doing here? Okay, so, for the moment, I'm doing all right. But I'm feeling glassy as hell because this is my instance PvE build in Viper's gear. I should probably do something to mitigate something here. This is pretty redonkulous. But, the damage numbers are there anyways. Throw down this staff. Probably just parasitic contagion away from being fine in open world. But I just can't take the hits. Yeah, it's just not as durable as I would generally prefer. Yeah, see, he's just chunking me down at all points. Good news is that our good friend Epidemic helps take out those little things on the side. No. Yeah, no. It's a sad day to be a mouse. Okay. Make some changes after this fight. See what we can do. Catch up here in a moment. Instead of letting Caddy and Robin carry me like they do every Saturday. let's do that. Anyway, so we won't complain about those damage numbers. We will complain about the survivability. I suppose you could probably run this in Selly gear and it would be alright. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Let's get some heal out. There we go. Well, almost like we know what we're doing. So there we go. Give me a moment here. I will catch up on the chat here. Saboteur, if you see 2 crossed swords, that's the PvP lobby. As long as you are level 2 and above, you can enter it. Absolutely. Windshark says, if you've got ascended trinkets from Bloodstone Fen, you can change any of them with a capacitor. Absolutely. That is a very good point, Windshark. I'm a big believer in the Bloodstone Fen equipment. All right, let me pull up my build here, and we will just swap Lingering Curse for Parasitic Contagion, and then we will try this again, and we will see where we go. Running over in Silly Mirage with Fireworks runes, and it works well in World versus World. Okay, so maybe somebody can explain this to me, because this is one of those weird World versus World things. Why do people in World versus World prefer the Fireworks runes to the pack runes? Because if I'm not mistaken, pack runes and Fireworks runes do almost essentially the same thing. Is that not I guess I could probably just... Okay, let me just hit this here and see if I'm not talking out my butt, so to speak. So if we customize and we look at this and we look at pack runes. So pack runes, 25 power, boon duration, and then on the 6, plus 125 precision, grant allies 5 stacks of might, fury, and swiftness for 5 seconds while in combat. Now, when we look at Fireworks runes, it's power, boon duration, power, boon duration. Is it the 25 movement speed? Is it the 25% movement speed that makes them good? Because, I mean, really, when I think about it, 125 precision is so much better than, 25% movement speed. I don't know. That really is my question. Yeah, I guess it's the movement speed. Yeah. Okay. Catching up here. A good build is good if you're doing good. Yes, absolutely, Jungle. That is absolutely 100% correct, and I absolutely agree that. And really, yeah, Gail's saying right. The best build in the world isn't a good build if people don't know how to draw out the strengths. That gets back to, my feelings about a lot of the complaints about the sustain nerfs. It really does. Just catching up here still. That's the only armor I have on my Maz. Yeah. Okay, just catching up. Damn, I thought that emoji is a jab, but it's a cough. Didn't Parasitic Contagion get nerfed too? It got nerfed a bit, absolutely, Emmanuel. It got nerfed a bit, but I mean, it's still viable. It's still good. It'll still keep you alive. It just gets back to the same thing about a lot of those pre-EOD nerfs that came out. What was wrong was not Parasitic Contagion. It was Parasitic Contagion plus Epidemic. It was... Not that there was a huge problem with Parasitic Contagion. It was that there was a pretty busted interaction when it came with Epidemic. So they nailed Epidemic too on that one. They did absolutely nail Epidemic as well. Caddy is asking, are we talking about roaming reserve? I'm talking about anything, Caddy. I think it's interesting that people in World versus World, I find specifically, jump at those Fireworks runes before the pack runes, and I guess I've just always wondered why. But I guess if I was solo, the Fireworks runes, if I was roaming, that would be a better choice. You're right. Stay hydrated, folks. It is hot as hell out there. Hot as absolute hell out there. All right. So Robin is just AFK, so we'll kind of hang out here for another couple of moments. Went and got some nightmare runes of this. Should have our ascended stuff done. Fantastic. Wow, you guys. Oh, hey, I got a new thing yesterday. Somebody was nice enough to send me one of those Mount Select runes, Cattywampus. Let me go in here. So I got a new shiny here. Bear with me. Mounts and this, and yeah, look at that. That's pretty. I still have to dye it better, but yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. All right. I always wonder if they want the movement buff as just part of World versus World equivalent of keeping up with the Joneses. If they do it, they must have it too. Gail, movement in World versus World is a much bigger factor than it is in PvE. And when I say that, I think the best way to put it is imagine what it was like getting around before mounts and how you pretty much had to bake some kind of movement speed increase into just about every open world tune. And if you remember, that's what we used to do. And the problem with Guardian was it had no trait that you could put any kind of movement speed increase on. So you ended up using staff or things like that. I mean, that was the way it was for me. Prior to Path of Fire, every tune I had absolutely baked in a little bit of movement speed increase into it. So I think that, in World versus World, the mounts aren't quite as influential. I mean, they're still stupid influential, but they aren't quite as overpowered in World versus World. Wow, this Viper's armor is doing me no favors today. Absolutely none. Okay, let's spread out some conditions, and then we'll find another character to play after this. This is just terrible. Holy shnikes. Even with Parasitic Contagion, I'm just getting chunked. Okay, well, we're rally bots. We'll play that rally hard here. Okay, that is just crazy. There's Catty and her Celestial Renegade, just pew-pewing, living the dream. There we go. And Robin is playing Mirage. Crazy. That's awesome. Okay. Try to kill this dude. There I go. Yeah. Wow. Yep. No. Full DPS gear in open world, kids. Don't freaking do it. Just don't. Friends don't let friends. Yeah. And there I am, full dead. Well, guys, that went well. Okay. This is, I'm going to go grab another tune. This is not a very good tune for open world shenanigans. Let's see, where are we at here? Character select. Let's see, already 80 Fahrenheit in Southern California this morning. Bitwise, it is climbing up on that up here in the Pacific Northwest as well. It's just absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. What do I want to play here this morning? Why don't I go back to this is what I was messing around on. So, oh my god, the pre-mount, it was all runes of the Centaur on my Mesmer back in the day. Excuse me. Adam, I mean, absolutely. That was... I don't think I had a character like I would play Druid on Ranger just for the movement speed buff and stuff like that. It was just absolutely redonkulous. Every character I had to put in that kind of extra movement speed on them. Centaur runes were the big one. Traveler runes were another one that I would use every once in a while. Just Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And Mounts actually freed us from that. Freed us from that world. And then, of course, they had to start buffing those traits because they had no reason. There's Caddy just, sitting there killing the dudes, being alive while the rest of us are dead. Okay. Watch me come in here and die too because I'm again chose... Oh, nice. Chose a full damage. Holy smokes. Wow. I just know so much about open world. It's crazy. Alright. Caddy, I'm going to see what I can do about this here. There we go. And let's... Nope. She is our only hope, Caddy. No, we're all just dust in the wind at this point. This was not my greatest shining moment. Alright, I'm going to find something with a little bit of sustain on it for this morning because running these full DPS setups in open world is not exactly my greatest shining moment. What do we got here? What do you think, guys? What do you think? Do we play Elementalist? Do we play Mechanist? Do we play Firebrand? Do we play Celestial Hollowsmith? That's what we play. We play Celestial Hollowsmith. Bear with me. All right, I just made my PvP mode up for the Mirage. I'm in the PvP mode. How do I gain the tomes now? Savitar, what you do is you go into games. And you go into games, and as you progress the reward tracks, you will earn your PvP rewards at that point. And on the reward tracks will be that. Absolutely, Hollowsmith. Jason Kane, damn, I missed 46 minutes of fun. The good news is, Jason, about 6 of those minutes had actual good content. So yeah, you lost out. You lost out. Play Mechanist is an underrepresented class right now. Absolutely. Okay, there we go. I am on Hollow. You are on... Oh, wow. Look at you. Caddy has brought out her Harbinger, I'm going to say. You're on what, like a Viper's Harbinger? Is that what you're playing, Caddy? If you're playing that, I'm going to play something that brings Alacrity. No, I'm going to play this. There we go. Jason, he's using a 15% fun booster. Yeah, well, those fun boosters are, there we go. Okay, and Midnight's gonna get her quick brand, and we'll see if this works better, shall we? We'll see if this doesn't work a little bit better. Oh, thank you, Windshark. That was nice of you to say. Any of you guys who are out there who want to come derp around with us while I'm shooting the shit with y'all this morning, just join Mind Circus 1506. Just join now. Okay, I've said it. Can you bring your mech? You can bring whatever you want, Ronnie. Just keep in mind we are on NA. I'm going to die a horrible death in front of a bunch of folks. That's okay, Caddy. After that last little display on that bounty, I think any meme clips that are going to be put up about our gameplay have already been done. Ronnie, add me as a friend. Mind Circus 1506, and then you should just be able to join on me. I don't get how to queue up besides for the arena. If you click on the PvP icons along the top, you've got a play button up there. And if you hit that play button, that should start to put you in unranked. That should do it. I'll give Ronnie a moment here. Well, we are looking stylish. Let's see. Caddy in the human T3 cultural. I'm thinking that's the human T3 cultural there. What scepter is that? That is a funky ass scepter. That would be a gem store warhorn. Yep. That's pretty slick looking, that scepter. Oh, that's one of the new ones from the End of Dragons content, isn't it? That's really nice. That's really nice. I like the effect on that. Yeah. Vegas Showgirl armors, indeed. You won the skin. Or did the skin win you? There we go. All right. Let's try this again. Let us try the Champion Forged Maverick. And let's see how we do here, because, you know, walking in there on my Viper Scourge, not so good. Not so good. Firestar asking what my favorite spec is right now. Depending on for what. For general open world, I am really enjoying the Tempest build I put up a few days ago. I'm really enjoying Catalyst in open world. I know these are hot takes. I know a lot of people think Ellie is a meme. But I'm really enjoying Elementalist these days. If you want something brain dead and easy, you cannot beat Mechanist. You cannot beat Mechanist at all for simple. Mine Circus 1506. Yes. I think for open world, it's really hard to beat Mechanist if you're looking for a simple gameplay kind of at this point. It really is redonkulously overpowered, like, you know, gonna get nerfed kind of overpowered. So that is, you know, if you're looking for that easy mode option, if you're looking for that kind of big damage, big utility on very small amounts of button presses, I'm going to absolutely recommend you play Mechanist. As for what I enjoy playing most, I'm really enjoying a few of the new Ellie specs. Watch out, you guys. We got this event going to roll through on us here, too. This is about to get really hairy. Okay, let's get over here and take these guys out and see how we do. This is, yeah, not good, not good. Wow. It's Saturday morning fun, guys. Kill these dudes for me. There we go. I will catch you in a moment here, Ronnie. Yes, that is me. I tried to invite you to team, but I'm going to try and get Caddy up here in the middle of this shit show. And we'll make her happen. What a clown fiesta. There we go. But Selly Hollowsmith for the win right here. You want that one build that does everything, it's Selly Hollowsmith. You want the most fun you're ever going to have in open world, the answer is still Celestial Hollowsmith. You want to pull giant crap out of your pockets, the only way to do that is Celestial Hollowsmith. There we go. It is a solid build. Let's go res our pal over here. I'll catch up with chat here in a moment. Oh, no, that guy's full dead. Okay, you are not full dead, though, so I will catch you. And there we go. Let's put this down. And let's make it happen here. This guy's tough, though. I mean, this is not one of the easier bounties anyways, so I'm not going to... Yeah, Sully Hollowsmith, you so crazy. Again, the social fun of Guild Wars 2 coming out the moment you start any bounty squad. There we go. Let's make this happen. And we should have it. Let's see. Yeah, I took a couple of on a world complete just to derp, and I was like, where did the mobs go? I think yeah. Mechanist is just one of those things that's in a pretty good place, is I guess the best way to put it. And now I will invite you. I have to add you as a friend. You are now my friend, and now I may. Can I invite you now? I can't invite you. Are you showing as offline? Is that your thing? Uh, hmm. Bear with me here for a moment. I'm working on. There we go. Miss Bender, there we go. And now I will invite you to our party. And there we have it. I have successfully managed to use what I believe are some of the basic features of Guild Wars 2. Mind over meta, I felt so bad eating people as a mechanist in World versus World. I've decided to park it because it was just so unfair. I mean, that is the thing. It really is out of balance with everything else. And what's happening with Mechanist is it isn't just unbalanced in the usual, like, one way, it's unbalanced in a number of ways. I don't know. I'm not going to complain too much about balance today. I've kind of beaten this drum the last few weeks here, but when one option is so much better than the rest, got another one here. Yep. I will add you as a friend, and I will invite you to the party. But when one option is so much more overpowered than the rest that the others just don't become options, that's when you have a problem. That's when you have a problem. Yeah, I'm actually getting ready to put my catalyst together for some roaming fun. Yummy, that's actually something that I was getting ready to do. I'm thinking catalyst for small-scale roaming in World versus World is going to be really, really interesting. And that's absolutely something that I was going to look at this afternoon, was kind of trying to come up with a roaming catalyst, either hammer or dagger or something like that. Jungaloo says, I joined a dungeon group with 3 mechanists and 1 scrapper. I felt weird as a Soul Beast main, but they cleared the dungeon by doing nothing. Well, there is that, but you're talking about Soul Beast, like Soul Beast. Ranger can clear the base content in this game without clicking any utility powers or any weapon abilities. Like, there was... Wooden Potatoes did this no skills challenge a few years ago where he ran a few streams, and all they did on the streams was he played a ranger through the base game and personal story without using any powers and just letting the ranger pet do everything. It was absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Would you take Willbender or Firebrand for open world these days? I'd take Firebrand. I like Willbender's playstyle more. I have more fun playing Willbender. I think Willbender is really, really great. But if I was worried about things like win rate, quality of life, and the impact on other people around me, there's just no comparison. Firebrand is the Mechanist of the last expansion, and for good reason. It really is absolutely redonkulous. Let's hit another map for this. Let's go up here, and let's go do a couple up in there because this place gets a little crowded. So yeah, I would absolutely play Firebrand. The thing about Firebrand too is that not only can you develop these crazy ass group support things. Oh, they took our jobs. We'll wait here for a minute. But there's no comparison between the two. One is a mostly selfish DPS spec, which does a really good job. I really, really like it in things like Dire or Trailblazers or things like that. I really, really like it there. But when it comes to everything else that is brought to the party by Firebrand, it's just really hard to look at the other elite specs for Guardian and not laugh. Like, outside of tier 4 fractals and some roaming, what good is Dragon Hunter? I mean, somebody needs to make me a video on how to make Dragon Hunter fun because it just isn't. At least Willbender is fun, is the best way that I will put it. Yeah, best way I'll put it. So Firebrand James is absolutely my big one on that one. Absolutely my big one on that one. Everyone, welcome Lane KDK. He has beer. Oh, beer. Wow, beer. There we go. I love it. Dragon Hunter was fun in PvP, says Caddy. Yeah, you're right about that. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Roamed in World versus World with 3 other Mechanists and 1 Scrapper. It was so bad. Yeah, I mean, I can't see it be. I can't see it be. I can't see that being bad at all. I'd like to check out a Dragon Hunter build. I have gone to the drawing board on the Dragon Hunter thing too many times to do it again at any point soon. I just can't. Mechanist could never be as broken as Firebrand because the spec can be nerfed, unlike Firebrand. I mean, you say it can be nerfed, but I actually think it's harder to nerf Mechanist than it is to nerf Firebrand. Because on a fundamental level, what is making Mechanist busted is not what it's giving out, but what it's not taking. The damage it's not taking, I think, is the best way to put it. Sad for me, use my level 80 boost on Warrior 1 week before Mega Nerf. Jungle Luther, I mean, it's a couple weeks or a week and a half and a bunch of big buffs to Warrior. I didn't read them too much, but the Banner Warrior is getting another pass there. Getting another pass. Savitar, what is your DPS tracker? My DPS tracker is called Arc DPS. You can absolutely look that up on the interwebs. Arc DPS is ARC DPS is the DPS meter, and I highly recommend it no matter what you are doing to get Arc DPS. Absolutely. Yeah, Dragon Hunter was cool for like 10 minutes in HOT release and was a counterpuncher in World versus World and just gathers dust now. That is a good way to put it. That is a very good way to put it. My thing about Dragon Hunter is when I want to do some straight up power DPS, there are 3 really strong options. Those being Power Hollowsmith, Power Soul Beast, and Power Dragon Hunter. And the gameplay on Power Dragon Hunter is just like, okay, here's your burst and now you're useless for the next minute and a half, I guess is the way I felt playing it. So I just don't enjoy the play style of it. I don't like longbows in this game. I've never seen a longbow spec that really tickled my fancy. It's just me. Catching up with the chat. Yeah, I do have beer. Wow. But it's only been in the fridge for a half hour. Well, that's not actually beer. Yeah, no, that's, I mean, if it's not cold, I'm not sure we actually call that beer up here. PvP. Let's catch this guy. Let's kill a bounty. See how we do here. And there we go. Yeah, Core Guardian goes Spur. Well, that's funny because Core Guardian is still not objectively awful in PvP and World versus World, and in PvP specifically. What is... Yeah, okay, so I was hitting the wrong thing. So be it. Let's get this bird. This used to be one of the scariest spots on this map. Used to be like, you know, back before that power Path of Fire power creep really hit us. This little area here used to be a pain in the butt. Arc DPS is nice. You can even change the font to your liking. Yeah, I got the font changed on this. It's actually, funny enough, I had some problems with Arc for many months. And the problems were when they put DX11 into the game. And under DX11, Arc would crash my game the moment we got any kind of readings from it would absolutely just kill my whole game and take it down. But I could run it under DX9 and there was no problem. So I would, go under DX11 when I wanted to shoot a video, and then I would have to transfer. And every time there was a patch, I was hoping it would be fixed. But I was going through Mella's tutorial on changing the font. As you'll notice, I actually have changed the font on my Arc. And I ended up nuking the entire preferences folder for the thing. And the good news about that was when I reinstalled Arc afterwards, I stopped having every problem with the... Did I forget to invite somebody to the party here? I made this Saturday morning burp. I'm sorry, I missed somebody here. And I don't have spots left in my party. So if you are in the chat and this is you, Licentian, I really do apologize. I'm sorry. I missed that. Hot take from me and a personal opinion. I dislike those DPS tractors in any game. It takes the challenge out of trial and error builds. It is the tool that creates a meta, in my humble opinion. I am going to hard disagree with you. I'm going to hard disagree with you on this, Jungle. And let me tell you why. Without this DPS meter, I don't know how well I'm doing at this game, and this game specifically. This game protects the player from their performance, or from the awareness of their performance. Really what it does is it puts you in this bubble, and you don't know the difference. You don't know how much damage you're doing. You don't know if you're doing a good deal of damage or not. And there's absolutely no way to do that until you actually see your numbers. And I get that we want to live in a world where that doesn't matter, but it does, because when I'm out here and I'm saying, well, is my Hollowsmith build viable? Is my X, Y, or Z build viable? If I don't have actual data to that, and I'm going on the subjective fun value of this, then I would be playing Marshall's Hollowsmith and Celestial Deadeye and whatever, thinking that it was, doing things that it may not do. The other value that I'm getting out of the DPS meter is things like boon up time, and stuff like that. And I don't think that it's possible to really objectively grade your performance without seeing the numbers. And while sure, seeing those numbers absolutely does create a quote-unquote meta, I don't think that a meta is bad. I mean, a meta is just people doing the easiest thing, right? Like, that's all a meta really is people taking the quickest road to victory. And there's nothing wrong with that as far as I'm concerned. That's just how some people like to play the game. Might not be how I like to play the game, but there's nothing wrong with that. And being able to min-max that and being able to have that option, I think, is important for those people who do enjoy that playstyle. I don't think that DPS meters are toxic at all. And when we talk about this game specifically and DPS meters, we can take a look at, how group compositions and stuff were far more toxic before Arc DPS, and they were based on incorrect assumptions. So when I say that, I mean, like, we used to have like the Berserker meta where everybody had to be running Berserker gear to get a spot in a dungeon team, etc. I mean, these are obviously largely memes. These are obviously, a lot of this is just overblown complaints by people who may have gotten kicked by a team at some point or whatever. But there was a very real perception that if you weren't running a Berserker's power build, that there was, that you were trolling your team and you weren't doing nearly as much damage. And people had no idea actually how much damage they were even doing. And I think that that's important, that without actual data, the data that, or when you're trying to build craft, particularly in a game like this that has so many options and has so much complicated build craft, If you don't have that data, you're fucked. You are, because all you're doing is you're playing by feels, and feels are just open to things like your own personal bias. So that's just me, and I get that. Here's the other side of that. When I play Star Wars: The Old Republic, Star Wars: The Old Republic has the ability to turn your floating damage numbers off, and that's how I play it. That's how I play SWTOR, is with the floating damage off. So it's funny in that I will play this game with the DPS meter on at all points, but I'll play other games and turn those off just because I prefer the immersion. The immersion. TP, hey, just a quick question, if I may. What's better for core, revenant, demon, or assassin with dwarf? On core revenant in celestial gear, I'm playing demon. I'm playing corruption, devastation, and maybe retribution. Yeah. I have a core build up on the channel, actually. Let us choose the Awakened Stray. I have a core build up on the channel. So you can take a look at that. Maybe one place to start looking. Oh, wow. Smoked out of the air by a lizard. I'm out of here. See ya. So yeah, I would take a look at the build. It's called Celestial Core Revenant, and I highly recommend you take a look at that if you are wanting to play Core Rev. Core Rev is a lot more powerful than I think a lot of people give it credit for, but if I'm playing Core Rev, I'm absolutely playing Core Rev for Condi and not power. Condi and not power. DPS meter can be a teaching learning tool or destructive criticism. Well, it's like any tool, right? It's like a fork. You can use it to eat people with, or you can plant one in somebody's forehead. Not that I've ever done that, but those obviously are options of a fork. The only reason I don't like metas is they class build creativity. Well, here's the thing. You don't have to play the meta. I tell people this about the meta. Play the meta when you pug. That really is it. Just play the meta when you pug. And if you play the meta when you pug, then problems are solved. Because you're playing the best available option. And you don't actually have to do that. But a lot of options in this game become available to you when you stop focusing on being in that top 1 percentile and accept about 15 to 20% less damage. I am going to get smoked. Where's my team? Where's my homies? My homies. Well, I'm dead. I don't know what to tell you guys. Oh, I'm still dead. I don't know what to tell you guys. This is just a sad day to be me. I bit off more than I could chew. I flew too close to the sun, my friends. Let's kill this harpy over here who's just free casting on us. I'll catch up in chat in a moment. Do bear with me here, folks. There we have it. Alright. This thing's a pain in the butt, Let's see. I gotta say, after opening Hollow, I may just go mech for Fractal's convenience. But Hollows, yeah, Teo, I'm the same way. I play Hollow a lot for the aesthetics. Well, here's the thing: if I'm playing instanced PvE content, like strikes, one of my absolute favorite damage power DPS builds is Power Hollowsmith. I absolutely love Power Hollow. Power Hollow is the shit to me. I love it. But for just general open world, quality of life, strong damage, best all-arounder build, Hollow is really strong there. But if I were looking for simplicity, I would absolutely be playing Mechanist. And I get people who play Mech. I'm played a fair bit of it myself at this point. Played a fair bit. Jason says I also play SWTOR with the damage numbers off because I play Rage. Oh, wow, you have played a little bit. I I haven't been back to SWOTOR for a very long time, to be honest with you. For those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about, SWOTOR is Star Wars: The Old Republic, which is another MMO based on the Star Wars universe, which is a very strong game, a very strong, like, fun game. Particularly, for the same kind of reasons you may enjoy Guild Wars 2. It's very accessible, and it's got that IP behind it. What SWOTOR does better than any other MMO is its story. The story in Star Wars: The Old Republic is mind-blowingly well made. Is the best way to do it. This is Arc DPS. I am absolutely running Arc DPS 10k DK. Yeah. TP, thanks. Nothing has changed since then with all the updates. We'll go back to your guide and review it. No, nothing's changed on Core Rev. Nothing is absolutely changed on Core Rev. There we go. My good folks, what I am actually going to do at this point is I'm going to throw up a little BRB screen. And I will say, hey, smoke them if you got them. And let's take 5. And be right back.
A lay-deranged scrit is spreading pain and fear? What's the world coming to?
I'm not afraid of the Awakened, but I'll feel better fighting them with the Sun Spear by our side. Hope Alashar heard that horn. I've got a plan, but I'll need help. Follow me. I've been diverting some of our supplies in order to cobble together fertilizer bombs.
Hey, can you talk?
Of course
A
I
new
can talk.
bounty is up.
I'm an Asura,
Do
which
you
means
have what
I
it
speak
takes?
better than you ever will.
Oh, so, do all Azurams look like you? Are you also puny? Are you ever supposed to stick out like that? You look kind of like a script with its face smashed in. I bet you'd make a good pet. Can you do any tricks?
Where's a progeny disciplined golem when you need one?
This
Are you
bounty is a
supposed to
big
stick
one.
out like that?
Help take
You
down
look
this
kinda like a
legendary
squid with
hiker.
its face smashed
Your
in.
friends
I
will
bet
be
you make a good
impressed.
pet. Can you do any tricks?
Where's a progeny disciplined golem when you need one?
I will say one thing. You know, we are largely PvE scrubs over here. But when y'all are done watching the stream, I'm going to put the stream back up here. Masters of the Arena is running. Moda 2 is this weekend. So I know I personally really love watching the Moda tournaments. Those PvE players are just so, PvP players are so freaking good at this game. Holy smokes. And just watching them is a joy, just to see these guys put this stuff together, the way they think so quickly and everything. I'm just such a fan. Such a fan. Yeah. Caddy piping in with they're amazing. Absolutely. And not only that, but Teapot's done a really good job this year of making the action viewable in Guild Wars 2. And the PvP play in Guild Wars 2, not always, I would say, the most viewer friendly experience, I guess is the way I would say it. You know, let's grab some bounties on a different map. I'm thinking let's go grab a couple of the bounties in let's try some bounties in Sandswept, just for a change of scenery. And the bounties, guys, are just good for me to put on in the background while I'm talking with y'all. Let me catch up on the chat a little bit here. So here we go. Catching up. So nothing has changed. It happens. Mech is truly safe. Mech is just free love and free life. Gail says, I played SWTOR, the same issues there as Guild Wars. I had to play every class. Tourism gameplay is hard. SWTOR probably the second best MMO, probably, sorry, I'm going to say the third best MMO in terms of the alting experience. I think the alting experience in SWTOR is pretty good. They've got that whole legacy system where you get perks based on your characters and what they've done, etc., kind of acts, impacting your entire stable of characters. I really love that system. I kind of wish they'd done a little bit more with it. So there was that. But SWTOR is like, there are two MMO RPGs where the leveling experience is what I would call strong. It's not just get to the end game and that's where the fun begins. SWTOR's story is so good that just going through the regular leveling up process is joyful, absolutely joyful. And it's one of those games that answers the question, why can't all of an MMO be good? SWTOR really nails that. Absolutely nails that. I'm a huge fan of SWTOR for some reasons. Unfortunately, SWTOR's combat is just not nearly as engaging as Guild Wars 2's combat, is the best way to put it. And the build craft is just non-existent in SWTOR. Well, mostly non-existent. You just don't get any interesting options to make or customize your character, etc. It's like, here's your spec, and as long as you know your spec, you've got it. It's the same problem I had with BDO. Can I get a ring or accessory here for free stats? You absolutely can. There is an Unbound Magic vendor. I don't know if it's ring. Yeah, the deflorite ring and the deflorite earring should be available at that dude there. So there we have it. When will you or Muck or Wooden Potatoes make a video covering turtle best practices, worst practices? It depends on what you mean by that. If you mean how to get it, I think that's probably a really good choice for a video. If you are instead talking about Best practices on how to use it, I'm just not sure there are any. I mean, are there any actual uses of that turtle outside of Dragon's End? I have not used that turtle much at all outside of Dragon's End, and I think that's the problem with the turtle, is it just doesn't have the same usefulness as any of the other mounts. I think it's really just a... I don't want to bash on it because it's really well made. It's really well made. It's superbly well animated. It's just so quality. But where does it fit into my gameplay loop? I don't think it actually does, to be honest with you. So what's the turtle best practice? I don't know. Like, get on your sky scale. You know, I guess is the best way to put it. Does some break bar hate or something like that, I guess is the best thing. Yeah, I don't know about what is it good for. What is it good for is the question to me. Like, has anybody really found a fun use for that turtle? I just haven't. I just haven't. My favorite use of the turtle is as a between map taxi to open maps for people. A between map taxi to open maps. Oh, I see, for taking people around. The best use for the turtle. I don't know if any of you guys caught this. There's a guy who does videos called Beyond the Wall. He's actually one of my favorite content creators. He had a series of videos on map breaking, which I thought were really just great map breaks. He had a series of videos on cheesing jumping puzzles, like how to use mounts to cheese certain JP mechanics and stuff. And then the other thing he just started doing was ways to grief botters. So what you can do is you can take your yes, Beyond the Wall is the guy with the Cheesemancer Chronomancer, absolutely. Beyond the Wall has some videos up about how to how to grief botters, and what he did with his. Whoa, where did my health just go? That was crazy. So what he did was, because the bots don't have auto loot, so they have to press 1 constantly. So the bots are constantly pressing. Wow, we're getting owned by this thing. Holy crap. So the bots constantly have to be pressing interact to pick up their loot from all the basic things that they're doing. So they'll leave their Minimancer or their Turret NG in an area, and you've seen them do it. But the bots are always pressing pressing F to pick up their loot, which is the same button as getting on a turtle mount. So what he did was he goes and he parks his turtle mount, he leaves it open for anybody to jump on, and then the bots end up jumping on the turtle mount. The other thing about that is you can actually move people between maps on the turtle mount. So what he does is he picks people up and then takes them to other maps. So they can't like bot their certain area. Yeah, it's what's going on here. Windshark is Sniper. Sniper is one of the leyline modifiers, and it's just wrecking me, to be honest with you. Just not hitting my dodges. So yeah, what he did, and he's got a couple of videos on this, is he grabs people botting and he moves them to other maps, and actually took them to some areas where he dropped them off cliffs and stuff. Absolutely hilarious video. He's got 2 of these videos about how to grief hackers. They're hackers. I want to say they're not technically hackers. They're just botters. But yeah, best use right there of the Siege Turtle, I think. Yeah, so under it says extreme damage. What happens is it chooses somebody, puts a mark on them, and just chunks them down hard. I just wasn't paying as good attention as I probably should. What is a good, cheaper replacement for Plague Doctor gear? Destiny. It depends on what build you're trying to gear up with that Plague Doctor gear. Give me an idea of what you're actually trying to gear up, and I can give you a better idea. I know Valen was pumping a Plague Doctor build, but I'm not exactly sure which one that might be. But yeah, give me a good idea of what you're running. I might be able to. Spectre support. Yeah, no, Plague Doctor is pretty much the only play on that one, to be honest with you. I am Plague Doctor support absolutely for support Spectre or Sport Scourge. Plague Doctors there really aren't a lot of good options beyond those. If you're not try-harding T4 fractals or stuff like that, or raiding or anything, you could probably get away with Celestial or something like that in open world or something. But yeah, there really isn't a great option. Plague Doctors is one of those funny sets. You could look at Seraphs, but Seraphs isn't that much easier to get than Plague Doctors. With Plague Doctors, what I had to do was invest heavily in the stat selectable armor boxes, so things you get from raids and fractals and stuff like that. Getting those exotic armor boxes again in Verdant Brink or World versus World or things like that are going to be very, very big wins. But yeah, there's a few builds that just don't really have a cheap option. And a lot of those you're going to find are your support builds, because things like Minstrels, things like, what else? Things like Minstrels, things like Celestial, things like Harriers, not always the easiest things to get, to be honest with you. That spot is a great farming place when you think about great quality mats and big supplies that can be gathered here. You mean on this map here on Sandswept? Sandswept is a good farming map. You're right. Sandswept is probably the best Living World Season 4 map other than Dragonfall, to farm for mats. It's really strong. Getting these difluorite crystals is pretty easy, I find, etc. So 75 gold first command. Now let's see what my wallet says. 75 gold, take it or leave it. Get into the crafting on those, Jason. Destiny. The crafting is going to be significantly cheaper on those. You're going to pay a real premium for those. And like I say, when you're talking about armor, the difference between Ascended and exotic armor is not that high. So what I do with Plague Doctors and what I did with Ritualists, etc., is just stat swap existing Ascended armor over, and then leverage my legendaries for weapons and stuff like that. Solomon Guild Wars 2, welcome to the stream. Hello, I'm currently on day 4 of this game and farming Alpine Skelks. How do I become more look-like? Cannot even be dedicated. Cannot even truly be decided, as I cannot be to do as have where they not. Why are you farming Alpine Skelks becomes the question. No, that's okay. That's okay. Don't be sorry. Just what is the value to the Alpine Skelks to you? What are they doing? Are you leveling quickly off them or something like that? So that would be... Oh, no worries. It's all good. Okay. There we go. I have been trolled. And now I'm going to beat up this goat. Let's beat up this goat. Catching. Great. I wanted to level my armor smith sometimes anyways. Destiny, when it comes to leveling your crafting, go to Guild Wars to GW2crafts.net. GW2crafts.net. Guild Wars2crafts.net will give you the absolute easiest way, the cheapest way to max out your crafting disciplines. I am a really big believer. Wow, that fear off that goat is real. Holy smokes. But go to GW2crafts.net. That is a really, really great place to level your crafting and getting it up to max as quick as possible. Wow, polluter ain't no joke. Wow. And then taunted into polluter again. There we have it. I am just, yeah, getting smacked about. Kill it. Kill it. Avenge me. There we have it. Thank you, friends. It's almost like I know what I'm doing here. It's beautiful. All right. So one goat down. Let's see what else we have left here. I should really just start a squad and invite Licentian. Bear with me here. I don't need to. I'm going to create a squad here, my friends. I could have done this at any time, but this is my... Oops, we don't need raid mode. We will make it private. We'll give ourselves a better color here. And now we will invite. There we go. I have mastered the Guild Wars 2 experience this morning. Let us do the star color, the hardest of all the open world bounties right here. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't get you in here earlier. I'm just, it's Saturday morning. I'm derping. Derping hard. You know what we should actually do at this point, my friends? Let us make our way to Eye of the North and let us do Easy 3 this morning. I think Easy 3 is what we're going to do. So let us go and get some Easy 3 action going on. I will pop on a support character. I believe I will pop on my quickness support catalyst. There we go. My bad. I'm like rotten at being this like streamer guy. Okay, so let us go to Eye of the North. Any of you guys who are out there in the chat right now who want to burn through Easy 3, and Easy 3 referring to the first three Icebrood Saga strikes, we'll give a couple of minutes for anybody who wants to join up, and then we will go ahead and we will do some striking. We will strike it up, so to speak, as Black Box would have told us back in the 90s. And I am unashamed of that one. There we have it. Wow. Midnight. Looking stylish. There we go. Let's get my hammer out. There we have it. So we will make this happen. Oh my, not sure about the mech on that, but what the heck, gotta try it at the same time. Yeah, I gotta try everything. It's just Easy 3. Don't you dare worry about anything at this point. We are Easy 3ing it. Okay, let me go ahead and just put us in the, what do we need? What do we need? We could probably use a little alacrity if you want to hop on your mech. That would probably be cool. You've got a lack now? Okay, you've got a lack. Yeah, if you want to pop on another source of alacrity, Robin, that would be absolutely fantastic. There we go. Nope. That is fine, Caddy. You play the hell out of that renegade. Okay. And when you do that and get back, then what I will do at that point is I will go. I think we good now. And I will pop. Yeah, as soon as Robin joins, we will pop back up into the LFG, and we will do a little bit of striking, so to speak. So this is kind of my meme support catalyst build. I am running, I believe, Minstrel's gear on this. Yes, Minstrels with Monk Runes. Transference and concentration. It is my favorite way to keep up quickness and heals on a group. Meanwhile, I guess we could just pop in here and get the little jumping puzzle version. Oh, let me just set this for raid mode. Raids, but they're strikes. I would like to join a strike mission. I would like to join Shiver Peaks Pass. Shiver me peakers. All right. And here we go. Let me put us in the LFG and grab a couple more people. Here we go. Advertise your group. IBS Easy 3. Play what you want. Scuffed builds only. Need Selly Deadeye. Advertised. That is okay. Take your time. We have time before we start. So if you are not ready, that is quite all right. I installed it, but it looks like crap and very in-depth. How to customize your UI, but yours looks clean. What I'm going to recommend you do is Savitar search search YouTube. Mela, M-E-L-A, has a video about how to change your font and everything. There is a configuration file that you have to go in and edit a text file on it. But he's got the basic instructions how to do that. So definitely take a look at his video. Absolutely doable at that point. All right. Why am I using Lightning Flash? Somebody needs to tell me why I'm using Lightning Flash. I have to change that. What is better than Lightning Flash? Nope. Nope. I don't know what to run here. Let's try Glyph of Storms. All right. Mine's, you found me, Sage. Welcome. You finally figured out how to use the YouTubes. 2 seconds. I'm just gonna help this out. Sage, welcome to the party. This is our Saturday morning cartoons and derping. We are currently doing Icebrood Saga Strikes, the Easy 3. We have been doing some very, very strenuous bosses, some bounties in the desert. We decided to get a little bit of a change of scenery here at this point. Oh no, I'm playing Alacrity Mech, the Power Alacrity Mech, my Power Alacrity Mech. Oh man, we're fucked. People playing my builds. That's a recipe for disaster. How is it going here? It's going really good this morning, Sage. Really glad to have you along here. Let's see. We haven't really done much today, but shoot the shit and chat. So we decided to kick it up a notch, make a little bit of loot, and maybe smack a couple of bosses around at this point. Let me set some squads here. I believe I will be down here. And I will take, where are we here? Which one is, I'm just looking for who is who, because this is not working right. Oh, you brought your DPS. Then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take this, and I will take, so we got quickness. So I think what we'll do is we'll probably grab this. Howl R. What do we got here? I think we full now, and let me just set it up that way. That should be good. I feel diminished by your JP abilities. Let me tell you what, on that, Gale, my JP abilities end with my patience. I am legendarily bad at jumping puzzles. I am legendarily good at this little jumping sequence because I have done this little jumping sequence hundreds of times. Because I grinded out the cape on these strike missions when I did that. Let me just let everybody know that they can use the shrine near my tag to join us. There we go. Yeah, no, I'm awful at jumping puzzles. I'm good at that one because it absolutely, I have done it more times than I care to admit. Hello, there's a shrine on the map, guys. There is a shrine near me on the mini map. Please use it. There we go. And we got one more. Just waiting on. Whoops, I almost fell off here. Just need a machine. I'm just waiting. One more person and we will go. Okay, let me send. Use the shrine. Please use the shrine. Okay, we are just waiting for somebody to shrine up. And we got it. I think we're good to go. Oh, whoever it is left. Okay, let's ready check. And then we will go. We will wait for somebody to ready up. Elseworlds, good morning. Welcome to the stream. We ready to go. All right. Let's put this down and let's make this happen here, guys. Oh, good. Just when my food and utility reminder go off. There we have it. Oh, dear. Let's get some might on the peepos. And there we have it. Should be easy. We looking good. Look at that damage. Those damage numbers, though, guys. Let's get some more quickness on you. Maybe some heals. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I love it. That's great. Drop down this little healing spot right here. And maybe a little quickness in a moment. And there we go. And there we have it. Should be good. Elseworlds. Is this a raid or something? No, this is a what's called a strike mission. So it's the best way to look at a strike mission is it's like easy mode raids. It's raid light, I guess is the way to put it. You know, raids are a lot more than just the last encounter, right? So this is kind of just a boss battle is the best way to put it. There are some mechanics. Yeah, I think the best way to put it is like it's an easy raid. There are challenge modes in them. Some of the challenge modes are objectively harder than raids. So it's really good content. It is really good content. Some of my favorite content in the game. Mahiz, I will invite you back to our squad, and then we will go and we'll do our next one. Raid White Light. I love this. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. It is just kind of a boss battle where you get 10 people smack on there. And yeah, it's a lot more accessible than a raid. The DPS increase is not awful. Sorry, the DPS requirement, the DPS checks are not pretty serious. It's really good kind of pick up casual content. Learn raid skills, less pressure than a full raid, less intensity and duration. I think that's another good way to play it. So the next one we're going to do is called Freyneir of Jormag. Freyneir of Jormag is Hion. I see. I only do open world, so I've never seen this. Elseworlds, I tell you what, strikes are some of the best kind of quick, easy fun in the game, to be honest with you. They really are just kind of the essence of what makes Guild Wars 2 good. In terms of its accessibility, they can't be beat. You can just go in here, and honestly, I was saying this, I think, last week or the week afterwards. The thing to know about this content here at this point, if you are at all, worried about it, is that I'm actually going to take a couple of seconds, get a couple of people. We've lost a couple here. Let me just go back into the LFG for a moment, and I'll pick back up what I'm saying. Just going to grab a couple more people. Let me just strike missions, experience, advertise your group. And we will just say Freyneir and Bears. All welcome. So yeah, I mean, this content is so on farm at this point that you will be carried if you're not, technically really proficient or whatever. There is no problem finding a group at this point. It's all really, really on farm. But it is a really good way to kind of get your feet wet in this kind of content. For example, the last one, its basic purpose was just to teach people to stack on tag. And that's really what the mechanics in it are trying to do. This one here teaches basic phasing, and I'll point it out to you as we're doing it. Let me just grab somebody else here for this group, and then when we get our last player in, we'll throw up a ready check. No problem if you had to drop. Totally get that, guys. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. We have people here. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is pull up a ready check, but I'll give you a good idea. I'll talk you through this encounter here. Let's ready check it, and then we will get good to go. So basically what's going to happen here is we will, when everybody accepts the ready check, move into the middle and engage the boss. This boss has a couple of different phases to it, and what's really important on this one is to learn not to blow your cooldowns when you are... wow, we got somebody who will not ready up. Why will you not ready up? All right, I'm canceling the ready check. And let's go. All right, let us get under gear here. So this boss comes out. He starts throwing out his mechanics. I'll drop down some quickness here and get frozen. So he drops these freeze bombs a lot, which is of a bit of concern. He does a lot more damage than the last boss does. And if you notice, really we're kind of stacking around the middle here and kind of just hitting on the boss. It's not super complicated. So I'm going to do things like, procking shocking aura to mitigate hits on my team and putting up the big heals and stuff like that. So he jumps out of the middle, and it's kind of the thing where he wants to debate everybody out of position, and then he comes back down here, and we start hitting on him again. And then in a couple of seconds, he will absolutely transform. And there he is. He is transformed. And the challenge in this fight is really to know when you are and are not doing damage on the boss, as well as to maintain stacking, is really the best way to put it. So, when we're talking on its most basic level, that's all we're doing. And it's pretty easy to get involved with this content. I was really shocked. If any of you guys have followed the channel for a little while, I put up a poll on the channel a couple of months ago asking about people's experience with this kind of content. And a full 2/3 of the people who were on my channel had never done a strike mission. And I said, well, that's super unfortunate to me, because this is like some of the more fun content in the game, as far as I'm concerned. This is really good stuff. And to get to that point where you aren't actually touching it for whatever reason. And it turned out, the reason people don't want to do this content isn't for any other reason than they're afraid of holding down the people around them. And that, I think, is kind of sad that people feel that way. And I get that. It's the same reason, I wouldn't touch dungeons for the longest time. I was always afraid of going in, being that newbie, and not, performing where my team needed, etc. So, I mean, I get that concern, but I think it's unfortunate that people, feel that this game is so restrictive that they have to do that, because, as you see, I mean, I didn't set up any requirements to join this group, though we are dropping like flies here. All right, let's let me focus on doing my healing job a little bit better, and we'll make it happen here. But as you say, we didn't come in here saying anybody needs to run any kind of builds or anything. We just grabbed the first people off the LFG and started playing it, and it is really that kind of easy. So it's really important to kind of keep that in mind, I think. Wow. Bears is going to hurt, guys. Bears is going to hurt. All right, let's finish this off, shall we? Oh, dear. There we go. But, I mean, there you see it. Like, the difference in the kill time on that, between that and, a heavily prepared group was not that high. It's not that much different. So don't be afraid of this content, is really one of the things that I will say. I'll catch up on chat here in a moment. Let me just get into the other instance. I am a new player and having a hard time finding a class I enjoy. I'm a bit of an active person, so I'd like to have a fun, be useful while keeping it casual. What would you suggest for me to try? Led John, first off, thank you for joining the stream here. The next thing I'm going to do is just put us into the LFG for a moment and grab 2 more people. Bear with me here for a moment, and then I will talk to you about your question, but it really gets down to your playstyle. Because here's the thing about Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 is not the kind of game where you need to play a specific class when you get to the end game, because that is the only thing that's viable. Guild Wars 2 is like, pick the class you enjoy and then figure out the way to play it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just like not clicking my buttons right here. Bear with me here for one more moment as I put this up and I just say, advertise your group, bears, all welcome, advertise your group, and we will go in here on the bears. I would like to join a straight mission, voice and claw. So getting back to what I'm saying here, you with your class, it's like, pick that thing you like the aesthetic of and then make it work for you beyond there. when it comes to your play style, you know, you can get your play style in just about any class. Do you like playing support? Just about every class has a support option. Do you like playing DPS? Every class has a DPS option. Do you like playing ranged? Well, ranged is a funny thing in Guild Wars 2. Do you like a more active, higher APM style? You know, do you like clicking a lot of buttons? Then maybe Elementalist or Engineer are the thing for you. Do you like clicking less buttons? Then you're probably looking at something a little more simple, like even Blade Sworn, or some of the other warrior options or things like that might be the way to go. So it's more a question of, you know, picking that thing you like the look of more than anything else, and then moving your play style into it. Because this game, if you're willing to accept not being in the top 10% at all points, is very, very, very flexible in terms of what you are doing. Do you think Catalyst is hard to play, or is it easy to pick up for less coordinated people? I think Catalyst is probably one of the more involved classes to play in the game, in terms of everything. And like everything else Elementalist, it does take a fair bit of muscle memory buildup. I think it's one of the objectively harder classes to play. I think Catalyst is not easy. I think it's important when playing Catalyst to realize that you may have to click 6 buttons for something other classes can do with one button press. But what you get from that is flexibility in terms of what you are doing at all times that can't be matched. And it's the same thing with Engineer. So you have the ability to kind of build up those muscle memories, but I wouldn't call them easy classes to learn. In terms of like the hardest classes to learn in this game, I think Elementalist and its options are close to the top. On all. Let's switch over to the other dude. Dudes, kill this dude. And let's get over here and a heal down. Alright, almost like I know what I'm doing. Yeah. So, I mean, I honestly find Catalyst to be, like, the way I'm playing it, to be one of the more difficult specs to play in the game in terms of the amount of muscle memory you need to get things done. But I also find it more rewarding this way. And I mean, I realize that that's largely just me, but it is absolutely the case. I'm going to concentrate a moment on my gameplay here, which has not been top tier to this point. And we'll get some boons down here and hopefully get this where it needs to be. This guy needs to drop here at this point. There we have it. Alright, so now we go to the middle. And shock them down, and we see how well we go here. They dropping, yo. This part gets a little dicey sometimes. I'm not supporting super well. But we getting her done. We getting her done. There we have it. So now we just gotta take this guy down. This is gonna get ugly. I know it is. Rotate, rotate, rotate. They drop him like flies. Oh no. Are we wiping on Barris, guys? Are we wiping on Barris? Oh my god, we wiped on Barris. Oh, it's the hero. Oh no. Oh, that hurts. That kills. All right. Well, guys, we will do it one more time here. Been a while since I wiped on bears. Oh my goodness. That was hilarious. It happens. It happens. Been playing Catalyst. I feel a little better obtaining the full Ascended Celestial Gear. Yeah, it absolutely does make a big difference. Okay. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to concentrate a little harder here at this point, and hopefully we will make this happen. Let us go. Just waiting on this guy over here, Baymax. There we have it. Yeah, it happened. It happened. All right. Put down some heals and focus on my green numbers a little bit better. I let people drop pretty hard there. There we have it. Somebody's mechs are attacking the wrong dude. This should be better. Evil bear doers, taste my justice. These bears are a pain sometimes. Wow. There we have it. Get some more healing going. All right. Let's switch to the other bear. I think we're doing better this time. There we have it. All right. Oop, don't die. No, no, guys. I got you. There we go. Alright. Get a bunch of damage down on this dude now. Just open up and do it. There we have it. I feel like a lot of content creators and people are afraid to do, which is a shame. I don't know. I think there's a lot of criticism of the game. Look, I'm not sure who's not criticizing the game. I'm not sure who's whitewashing any problems at this point. You know, I think the game is seeing its fair criticism. You know, I sometimes I don't think this community really does. What is going on, guys? Oh no. Well, I'm not sure what can be done here. Let's see what happens. All right. Spread. There we go. Okay, one left. And this is not going to be good. I'll tell you that right now. I am immobilized in the red. There we go. We'll see if we can do this, but I think we might just call her at that point. Wow, guys. Okay. Well, I think we'll call it at that point. Holy smokes. Yeah. All right. No, it's cool. It's cool. I gotta drop and touch grass anyways. All right. Let us go to Eye of the North and drop out. And probably just do this next time. Really strange. It's been a while since I've seen any wipe on bears, let alone two. I don't think I was anchoring that very well at all, to be honest. I think that's on me, so we'll just leave it at that. I will leave the squad. There's criticism and there's sour grapes. I still think it's largely fair criticism, but the sour grapes can be pretty high volume, obvious. You know, this community and certain elements of this community are really quick to throw ANET under the bus for any little thing that doesn't suit their playstyle. And I look at the Dragon's End drama I look at the drama over raids. I look at a lot of things, and there's a piece of this community here that really doesn't give ArenaNet any credit and throws them under the bus as soon as they're not getting what they want. And I look at the number of people who were calling for developers to be fired because Dragon's End was too hard and they were not getting their turtles. I think there was a fair bit of criticism of the company during that. And I think a lot of that criticism was really unwarranted. I think there was a lot of criticism of the company during the balance patch fiasco on the 28th of last month. And I think a lot of that was really out of bounds too. I think that the community does criticize the game fairly well. I'm not sure that the community always holds up their end. I know that's a hot take. And I know that's not the most player-centric focus on these kind of issues. But I don't feel that this community holds up its end in terms of keeping its composure and holding its relative shit together. And I think that that's really important to kind of think that you don't scream bloody murder just because you're not, getting your turtle, I guess is the best way to put it. What's hard about getting turtles? When the expansion first launched, you had to successfully complete Dragon's End to get the turtle egg. And you still have to do a strike mission. And the strike mission is not easy. I mean, it's not the hardest strike mission, but it's not a gimme. It's not Shiver Peaks Pass. It is a relatively hard strike mission. It's got some mechanics and it's a lot of fun. It's great. But a lot of people said, gating a mount behind instance content was problematic. There was a lot of really negative things to say about Dragon's End and its difficulty spike from the group of people who don't like fail states in this game. And I think a lot of it was really unwarranted. I mean, Chat Garrett was hard until we figured out how to beat it. Silver Wastes was hard before we figured out how to beat it. And Dragon's End is hard until we put it on farm, And I think that really a lot of the criticism of this game is out of hand, to be honest with you. And then there's the part that is at hand, like the canon in Red Keep in World versus World. Like, why the hell is that canon not being moved? But you know what I mean? It's like there are other parts of this game that really just don't see a lot of criticism, right? That canon. Yeah, that sounds pretty stupid. I don't play the game, but give me the mount. Well, and that is really the thing, isn't it? I mean, you don't buy a Pokemon game expecting all the Pokemon to be just delivered to you, right? I mean, that might be the wrong analogy, but I don't think it is. I think it's actually the right analogy. There's a certain part of the player base that finds it easier to argue for changes and metagame the forums rather than improve their gameplay. And I actually think it's easier to improve your gameplay. I think it's quicker anyways. I think that the most fair criticism was just that the route through the new content came as such a big surprise. People didn't expect to see the mount behind that much effort. Well, excuse me. There is that. But, the other side of that is getting that sky scale was not easy. It was objectively a grind. That baby dragon took me quite a while. There was 3 of those fine 25 grindy grinders in Dragon's End kind of experiences that I absolutely hated, and you absolutely have to pull up a guild gen video to find every one of them, etc. And I found that hard. I didn't find getting the turtle hard. I could have got the turtle whenever I wanted. I don't know. I don't want to go off too much. I don't want to pull the whole Mind Circus Unchained bit, but there are a group of people that tend to want to steer the direction of this game that don't actually like playing video games. I think is the best way to put it. What's your suggestion for people who cannot decide which class to invest their time in because of fear of not getting a spot in the end game? Play Guardian is the quick answer to that. Play Engineer is a quick answer to that. Guardian has never been out of the end game, but you know Tolga, that is not a big a problem in Guild Wars 2 as it is in other games. I don't know if there are any classes that don't have a viable build in high-end endgame content, to be honest with you. And when I say that, I'm thinking about, you know, even Thief, Warrior even Warrior that's in a really hard spot right now has viable DPS builds. But if the number one thing you want to do is always be viable in end game content, play Guardian. Guardian has never had an awful spec, I think is the best way to put it. Let's see. The Griffin was harder than the Sky Scale, and you're probably right about that, Robin. I'm probably, you know, looking at it through Path of Fire covered glasses at this point. But yeah, the Griffin was hard. I mean, and the Griffin was what, like a $250 gold on top of all the crazy jumping and stuff you had to do on your skimmer, or not your skimmer, on your Springer and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it was hard. It was hard, absolutely. Before Spectre, I might have guessed that Thief would have issues. Elseworlds, power DPS Daredevil is always a solid choice in endgame PvE. It's got a really quick rotation. It's like smacky smack with the staff. I think you just hit like 1 and 2 on it and dodge every once in a while to upkeep a buff that upkeeps your damage. So yeah, it's right there. It's right there. It's always been hot. I'm hard pressed to think of any class that's been excluded. I know before Renegade, Rev had some problems, other than like hand kiting Demos. You know, I think Rev had some problems with endgame before Renegade really came into its own. I think there was an issue with Renegade. I think Elementalist struggles on and off to be part of the meta, but I don't think Elementalist has a problem. But yeah, Guardian is a quick answer. But the Sky Scale nearly brought me to tears with frustration in terms of the time invested. Agreed. There's the other part of that, though, is that the Sky Scale quest had the bit where you train it and play with it, and it's growing inside the instance there in Jahai Bluffs. Wow, I thought that was fantastic. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. They did some really good stuff with the Sky Scale, in terms of making it feel like a journey, which sometimes is what this game really does miss. Sometimes you're given a laundry list of activities and it feels like a grind. And then other times you get, you know, the Sky Scale quest or Chukan Champawat, which breaks it up with some really interesting kind of experiences. You know, it's one of those things the game doesn't always get right. It's one of those things that World of Warcraft does so much better than this game. With that said, my friends, it is 20 after 11. It is time for me to go out and touch a little bit of grass, and get a little bit of fresh air, enjoy the rest of the day. For those of you guys looking for more Guild Wars 2 content, hop on over to Twitch, support Mighty Teapot with the Masters of the Arena tournament. Go watch some PvP. Go watch those guys. Those guys are just demons. Amazing at the game. Thank you guys all for your kind words. Awesome just to hang out with you guys. This is one of my favorite parts of the week is my Saturday mornings hanging out with you guys. So really enjoy this. Other than that, join the Discord if you haven't already. Trying to do some things. If anybody's got some ideas about what to call my gold making guides, please shoot me a message. I can't do anything else on those gold making videos until they have some kind of title. So if you've got any idea, shoot me a message in game on the Discord or something like that, please. I'd love to hear what you guys like to get into. Thank you very much, Sage. I was so glad to see you here. Thank you very, very much. I am going to thank you very much for getting to the end of this. I'm going to remind you to have fun in game. Min-max your real life. And we will see you with a video sometimes this week and otherwise next Saturday.